Hey everybody, so we're going to be doing something that I know we say we're going to do something different, but this one was pretty heavy and came quite literally out of nowhere. Jessup gave the idea of reviewing the movie Mary and Max, which came out over a decade ago. And it's about two people, a guy from New York named Max and a girl from Australia named Mary, and both of them happen to uh, be on the autism spectrum, and the
But
friendship
we don't
that
know about Mary. We don't know about Mary being autistic or
Yeah,
not.
you don't know about Mary.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Um, but one of them is on the autism spectrum, and just the friendship that they connect that they make, and funny enough, one of the things that I think that makes this movie work is that most of the time they talk to each other, it's all through letters.
Yeah. Um, man.
Just
We are um so normally I don't I mean I like movies that make me emotional, and normally I don't cry during movies. But I cried at the end of this. We tried to get that emotion as soon as like we are I just told Will just to record, just get my raw emotion on the film. Ooh, it was a tough one to get through.
Yeah.
It had some
So
really hard moments to get through, but I really liked it. I had just heard about this movie some time ago, and I thought that I work with people with kids on the autism spectrum. Um, I know my kid is okay for me to disclose this, Patrick.
sure.
Okay,
You
I
asked me
know
ahead of time.
what?
You already asked me ahead of time.
Yeah, I know Patrick has Asperger's. I know
Technically, it's considered a high functioning autism
which it is, yeah,
nowadays.
and so I figured this would be a fun one for us to cover as a group. I didn't was not ready for how like really heavy it gets too. Like there are some really dark moments in this.
yeah,
And
for
just the ending was just very sad too, and just very bittersweet.
Yeah.
yeah, for the people who look at this movie and thinking it might be like, a fun, cute movie for the family, just a heads up, it's not.
Your kids are going to be asking a lot of questions after you see this if you choose this as a kids movie. And this is not rated. It's NR.
Okay.
Technically,
I
it's
think this is the
NR.
first NR movie we've ever covered here too.
Yeah, it's technically rated NR, I think. Like
Yeah.
not rated. So it's not really rated R.
Oh, that's what I said. NR.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's right, man. And it is a stop motion film, which I love stop motion. I think you can do a lot with stop motion, and it looked really good too.
Oh yeah, like
There was
for sorry, I want to add on something.
yeah, you go
Max,
ahead.
for Max's world, it's all black and white, but for Mary's world, the only color she knows is the color brown.
Yeah. Um, I also wanted to do discussion questions on this, but I just couldn't find anything just because I hadn't seen the movie. Um,
Let's start with the basic ones. Would you recommend this to anyone in particular?
um, Definitely not to children. I
No.
was really hoping this would be like a movie I could show to my students
Oh, that's a
or
good
someone
idea.
to
I
relate
mean,
to, but
older students.
my students are elementary school age, so this is
Yeah.
not appropriate for them.
No.
I mean, they'd have to be like at high school age.
At the very minimum, high school, yeah. Even then, that's kind of
With
pushing it.
with permission from their parents.
Yeah, permission from parents. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. Yeah. I think people who work in the field of like working with people with learning differences and various health issues, like autism, like ADHD, I think this is a great movie for people like that. And even people with those health issues, with autism, with various disabilities. I think it's a great way to kind of like connect too.
I
It's
think
also useful. I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, it's okay. One thing I thought that made the movie stand out for me was how there was almost never really any dialogue between the characters. It was mostly monologues given by like the narrator, Mary, and Max.
Yeah, which is a very interesting choice. Normally a movie like normally the rules of film you show don't tell. You don't really want a whole lot of dialogue because that can water down the story. But because it's um between two pen pals, it actually works here, and it shows us their world and their worldview.
But anyways, Patrick, what were you gonna add on?
I think if you're someone who is on the autistic spectrum, it's good to look at it from an outsider's point of view. Like you just want to try figuring out who you are a bit better. Like my first dive into learning about my autistic diagnosis was with this episode from Arthur, where one of the kids makes a new friend who was at the time diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And this was shortly before I learned that I was also on the autistic spectrum. That's a story. My parents knew for a long time, but just didn't tell me because they didn't think it would make me any different.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm curious which episode it was though.
It was so I this was when I was about 13 or so.
Okay.
So it would be 2010, I think.
Okay.
What's the antler? What's the deer's name? Elk's name?
I
I don't
forget his
remember. It's
name.
been a while
I
since
know who
I've
you're talking
actually
about.
seen
I forget his
Arthur.
name.
Oh, it's. I feel like it's Elmer.
Oh, maybe Elmer. Anyways, uh, anyways, I'll look it up later. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
Yeah, this movie
I'm
got very serious a lot of the time.
I'm curious to hear Patrick's perspective. Like, what did you think of the movie overall?
well, spoiler alert, but I already knew what was going to happen in the movie
Okay.
before you even mentioned it because I read the summary several years ago, and but watching it does help you get a better understanding. For one thing, there was so many monologues in this movie. It kind of felt like they were never ending. No offense, but it's understandable. It shows what type of people these are. Mary is shorter. Max is trying to fit in as much as he can to be understood.
Um,
So,
yeah.
what do you guys? I'm going to ask you guys. Um, do you think there should be a cure for people on the autistic spectrum, like Mary initially thought?
I heavily disagree with that. I think it should be embraced. I'm trying to think how to word this.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you, by the way.
And I can get Mary's perspective, especially from the time period of the 80s and 90s, because that's when this movie is set, like
70s to the 90s,
70s and 90s, yeah. And
70s to 80s.
in that time period, people were, I think, if I remember correctly, people were trying to look for cures to autism and all these various health issues. But as we've gotten more information over in the 2000s and 2010s, we've learned that it's not something we can really cure. We need to look at how we can live with it and help other people understand the world around them.
And also having people who are, I think, neurodivergent.
Yeah,
Is that the right word? Those
I
who
think that's the right word.
those who aren't artistic to remember to have empathy because you can't control it. So just as much as you can't other people can't control how they're born. So if you have a problem with it, then leave us alone.
Exactly.
I I mean, sometimes I do feel frustrated with myself because I do struggle with interactions with people. I struggle to get my words out, trying to express how I feel properly, trying to make sure I'm not misunderstood. And something I learned recently is I hate it when people don't listen. It's and it just feels I feel hurt. I can understand Max's fury at Mary suggesting finding a cure. She had the best intentions. She wanted to help him become more socially accepted, but this is something he's lived with and something he's learned to he's starting to understand that you can't change who you are. You have to go with it. You can you can change certain behaviors, you can change certain things, but you can't change your entire identity. You can't lie.
Exactly. And I can't really you can't really blame Mary for that either, because like I said implied earlier and kind of said, she's working with very limited information from the time.
Yeah.
She doesn't
She-
have like all the stuff we have now, like all the I'm they didn't have landmark college back then.
Yeah, and this whole thing, the pen pal thing, I honestly think it's so nowadays you can communicate with people all across the world with the tap of your fingers. I think I realized something. Max is afraid of. I realized something that a lot of my friends are online. Technically, you guys are my online friends too now, even though we're not in the same state or same school anymore.
Yeah, no, we started out in college together.
Yeah.
All of us on this, except for Anna.
Yeah, we're all able to stay connected with each other because of the internet. I mean, I'd probably be scared of writing to random people, yeah, back in that age. I can understand Max's anxiety attacks. I trying to do something new is scary. I'm very thankful for the era we live in now, where we can communicate with people, where we can learn things easier, where we can make a difference together. I and the whole gift thing. I'm on Discord. I'm part of a writing group that I started with one of my friends who still is, who I discovered a few years ago, lived in Massachusetts. She started out as my technically pen pal, but we became best friends and we started did forming a writing group with other people we knew. I brought in someone from Utah that I met on from reading one of her fan fictions, and she brought in her own friends, and we started doing Christmas exchanges, and we started sending gifts to each other.
Nice.
It's
This
It's-
actually sounds like something I'd be interested. Can we talk about this afterwards?
sure.
Anyways,
I
but I loved your speech, Patrick. That was amazing.
thanks.
Definitely.
Ovation, like applause, man. That was amazing.
Okay. I'm not a man of Ferrari.
Oh,
To be honest,
Um,
speaking, I think the monologue on Barbie went on a little long,
I
even though
know. No, that was great. That was amazing.
so I wanted to give it my 2 cents.
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
I actually agree with Jessup here. I think that autism should be something that should be embraced and studied more, because I also work with students who are on the autism spectrum, and each of them have, like, different likes. They have different dislikes. They have different things that, like, make them click, like how they study, how they act towards certain things. um yeah, I think it should be something that we should, like, look into more. And sh- I think, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think that even though it looks like we still have, looks like we may have, like, a good general knowledge of not just autism, but learning differences in general, there is still a lot we need to know, I think.
I absolutely agree with that. I think there's still so much work that can be done. I feel like there's a lot of great work going on. I mean,
yes,
my
just
ADHD as well.
okay. This is
Same here.
yeah. This is gonna be a little weird, but you know the story of Helen Keller, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how she became blind and deaf at a young age. She could not communicate with anyone, and she was essentially wild until her teacher came, and she fought. She worked so hard, tirelessly, just so she could help Helen learn how to reach out to the world. And it was a drastic change. It's the same applies for people who are autistic, who are different. The biggest thing we need to do is learn how to communicate with each other better. Just like Helen learned how to communicate with sign language, and eventually learned how to speak like anyone else, technically.
And on top of that, she went on to do some amazing stuff with her life too.
Exactly. I
Like,
just talking about it makes me realize just how amazing this film is. how easily one it's how easily you can make a difference in someone's life just by with one letter, even for better or worse.
Yeah. One speech, one conversation too.
One anxiety induced attack induced letter. Relax. I don't blame him for the anxiety.
No, I don't blame him either, but I just
Just a lot of information Mary was asking him.
Yeah.
He's he grew up in a time that was not easy on him, and
And
with his own different circumstances too.
I'd have to go back and rewatch the movie to confirm this. But I'm pretty sure Mary like was like asking less questions as the letters as she like learned to talk with him and understand him too. Like
Hmm.
she went in ways she kind of like I said, I think she pretty much dives into his world and like learns a lot through Max.
That's part of it, and I think when she went to college, it was a lot of those letters seemed to be trying to understand him better too.
Yeah,
And for him, she did
she
offer
learned, and
opportunities.
you could argue she kind of learned how to ask him these questions in a way that would be not anxiety inducing. And of course, she slipped up many times. We see it throughout the movie. She makes mistakes and sends a little too much every once in a while. And that's just part of the human experience.
Yeah,
Even people who don't have any learning difference, no ADHD, no autism, they still make mistakes.
yeah, and they think we're the freaks.
And I even admit, whenever I want to ask somebody a question, I would probably think, like, is this a good thing to ask? Like, and how should I word this?
Exactly. You know, I'm always racing through my mind trying to figure out like what is the right thing to say at this right time.
They screw up
I
every day with
and when
me.
we're doing these reviews, I don't do that. I just dive right in and just contribute.
Yeah, we all know each other. If we make a mistake, we all know that it's not out of malintent.
No,
Yeah, I mean, jeez. When did we start college? 2014?
Yeah.
2014, 10 years
We've
ago.
known each other for almost 10 years.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I feel
It's been
old
10
now.
years. Oh my
I'm
god.
patiently awaiting my 10-year landmark reunion, even though that's not for another 2 years, probably.
Oh, I didn't realize we have 10-year reunions at Landmark?
They need to.
I went back to landmark in 21 for my 5 year, so maybe.
I kind of
Well,
like I didn't. If I could go
there
back,
was. Sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
sorry, if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd do several things differently, and one of them would be to get a different degree because I'm working on a second degree online just so I can try not be be in my current living situation with my family. I want to try becoming more independent.
Yeah.
I want to be more. I just want to be able to be known better.
I know. No, I'm starting to live a little more independent myself, but I still like I only just like moved out like a few months ago.
I'm so proud of you, by the way, man. I'm really proud that you did
And you
get.
can do it too, man. You can do it too. I believe in you.
Thanks. I'm just trying to figure out what type of career path.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Oh, do you need recipe books, by the way? Oh, this is
Um,
character review. Sorry.
yeah, no, we're just this is no longer the review. I've got some already, but thank you for the offer. I've got some already, but
All right.
maybe like one or two more. I don't
All
know.
right, so
Never
should we?
have books.
Can I
We've
quickly
gotten
just?
so sidetracked.
Can I
Sorry.
quickly? Can I quickly bring up what I would like to review next time?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it is a movie that came out last year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, did not do too well at the box office,
Okay.
Okay.
but it has a little bit of a fan base. I will admit.
Is it
Okay, I
Dungeons
mean-
and Dragons?
No, we did Dungeons and Dragons already.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I know this movie wasn't very well received at first, but when I first saw this, I actually thought it was all right.
Yeah, no, my mind's racing to the Little Mermaid remake, but I remembered that was the last movie we reviewed prior to
I have
this.
not seen that, but I don't want to. I'm afraid.
Well, just a,
It's-
sorry,
I
go
will
ahead.
say, Patrick, I did not think it was. I thought it was one of the better of the remakes.
Okay, fair enough. I sorry for sounding hypocritical. I just
No, it's okay, it's okay. I will admit, the infamous song does kill the movie.
Song. What song?
There's a
Scuttlebutt.
new song added in that's sung by Scuttle.
Is it? Wait, was that the song that Lin Miranda Emanuel wrote?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it
come
is.
on.
Well, is the other new songs in the movie were all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that one
Anyways,
song
there's-
just killed the movie.
But anyway,
Alright.
Jessup, you are actually on the right track. This movie actually did come out from Disney last year.
Wish. Oh, I know what it is now. I know exactly what it is now.
Oh
Winnie-
yeah.
I
Winnie
haven't
the
seen
Pooh
it yet,
Blood and
but okay, let's do it.
Did I get it right? Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
No, that's
No,
not
there's
Disney.
no way Disney would do that.
That would be funny though.
It would be kind of funny, I will admit.
By the way, have you seen the trailer for the sequel?
I know they're making a sequel. Oh
No, good news. It looks better. It's definitely has a better budget. So there's hope.
So what's the name of this movie, Will? I'm not following.
It's a little movie that came out called Elemental.
Oh, it technically was a sleeper hit. It did okay in a box office, actually.
I forget.
Well,
Yeah,
I found it to be okay, but I'm curious to know what you guys think.
Okay, yeah, no. I was very curious. Like that premise did kind of intrigue me, even though it's very Zootopia-like.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a chance.
All right,
Right.
let's try this.
So until next time, we will see you for the next review, which will be Pixar's Elemental.